Hello, my name is Nairi. I'm running an adoption support channel. Today we're going to be looking at starter finisher envelopes and treasure boxes for your children, and this will enable you to have a little bit of free time, maybe in the room with them, yes, but a little bit of free time with your children and keep them occupied for a while. And this is a requested video. So first of all, we're going to look at the starter finisher envelope. So a starter finisher envelope is also very good for children that have autistic traits or tendencies, because they can see when something starts and when something finishes. So first of all, what's really nice is if you can have a see-through envelope. Now in here I've put a tray puzzle, bearing in mind that I don't have young children around anymore, but I do actually have a little girl staying with us at the moment. So we have a tray puzzle in there. Now I guess if you've got a 3 or 4 year old, this is going to take them maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes if they struggle to do, but you want them to be able to finish it. So a tray puzzle, but you can just get a cheap cardboard puzzle that has got the right amount of pieces. So say it's got 12 pieces in, and you know they're going to be able to do it with a little bit of kind of like trying it out. And then the second thing I have in here is like a sticker book, which is an easy sticker book. Now this one's already been done, so it's an example, but you can see that you put the stickers on the faces, and at the beginning of in the middle of the book you've got very simple, straightforward bodily parts pieces. So again, you would say to your child, well, could you do me 2 of those faces? So you say to them, can you start with the puzzle, then can you do 2 faces for me, and then can you finish off and can you do me a lovely colouring? You take the colouring out of the book. There's one on each side, so if you think your child really loves, colouring, you could give them both sides, and put the actual pens or pens in the envelope that you want them to have. Now I've put pens in here because that's what I've got, but you want to put in there what you feel they're safe with. So if they really like felt tips and you think they're safe with them, then put the best in there, but if you think crayons is more suitable, then do that. So you say to them the exact order that you want them to do it in, and say, well, make a good job of the colouring for me, and then when you've done those 3 things, come and bring the envelope back to me. And hopefully you will have at least 20 minutes respite, maybe half an hour. That's all you're really looking for with a starter finisher envelope. And then of course what you can do is you can have several of them ready throughout the week. You can have one for every day that you just pull out when you really need that time. So you need that time to get chores done, and you need the child to let you do that, then you have these ready. So a treasure box is much more involved. So starter finisher envelopes are just that. You expect there to be a start and you expect there to be a finish, and you've got a time frame for your child, and they're following those instructions through very tightly. But a treasure box is very different. It's more about open-ended play and the interest of your child. So I've got a treasure box here. Now this is just an IKEA box that I ordered for something else entirely. Now I've got lots of things in here, and I'm not expecting you to have maybe even half the things in here that I have, but I'm going to show you how I start down a particular theme or idea and how that can be developed, and give you some ideas for your child, because you know what your child loves and you know what will give that fascination to your child. And with the treasure box, again, you can leave them with it. I mean, if you're going to put anything potentially dangerous in it like scissors, then you need to be in the same room. But if you steer away from any of that, you can literally give them the box at the time which you choose, and you don't give them the box any other time than when you give them the box. It's not something you leave out for them to play with. So let me just show you. The first thing that I would do is have a particular cuddly toy or teddy that you give a name, and this toy it could be also the attachment toy we've talked about before, but probably not, because the attachment toy will end up in bed with them and go everywhere with them. So this is a special toy that has a name, and this toy will come out at the beginning of the treasure box and be with them when they're playing. So you're going to create a character around the toy. So say we call this one Alfred, and he's a special bear, and he's going to join in the playtime with the treasure box. That's the first thing. I think when you've got a tactile soft toy, most children love that, even older children love that. So that's the first thing you've got. Now let me take you down the vehicle moving things route. So you could have a folded little road in there. This is pretty cheap. You can get them off of Amazon. A little road there, a little road map for them. And then if you wanted to go down that route with them, then you might have some special vehicles that you don't let them have at any other time. These are just the ones that they really love. They might be the more expensive ones, they might be ones that follow a colour, might be their favourite colour. So say yellow is a favourite colour, so that will then go with the road, so they can get the road out and play with that as well. And I don't have any sort of Bob the Builder type books, but imagine that that theme was very much down the trains route rather than the vehicles route. Then you might put some special books in there that you don't normally have out for them, you don't normally read to them, and you know they're going to love. So this would have been down the trains route if you're going down trains, and pop them in the box. So that's that. Now, say you've got a child that loves writing, mark making, painting, all of that type of stuff. So it could be that this box is like all about post offices, and actually you can actually put a hole in the top of the box and they can post stuff back through it if you want to. So with post offices, you could have sellotape. For this one, you're probably going to need scissors, which you may or may not want to do, but it depends on the age of your child. So if your child is say 4 and competent with children's scissors, it would be fine. You can get coloured masking tape. I don't know if you can see that. I use that sort of thing for my sticker planning books, and they're really cheap and it's coloured and it's quite easy to cut and break off, so you can let them have that. And then the main part of post offices is cards and envelopes. Now, you do not have to go and buy these. It might be that you can rummage your way through old birthday cards and envelopes that you already have. This is actually recyclable, you know, new, but you wouldn't have to do that. I went into a scrap store and I found these airmail, but the variety of the envelopes, the shapes and sizes are what you're looking for, because the child that's fascinated with putting the paper in the envelope and writing on it will want colour, shape, and the opportunity to use different types of paper. So you could put together a load of scrap paper and make a book for them. I don't know if you can see, this is my son's. It's been put together with scrap paper, and then you know that you're not going through thousands of sheets of paper, because they will just write or just do very little on each piece of paper. And another size book, a little notebook. Again, it's fascinating for them, isn't it, to be flicking through. So that could be like your post office thing. And you might want to put a pencil in with there, and you might want to put crayons in with there. You might let them have a pen, because don't forget, this is something that is special. So you're giving them over and above what you normally give them. So when you really need a break, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you just can't keep going, had that experience yesterday, then you have got something that they will rummage through and sit down, and if there's enough in it to keep them entertained, you might get 40 minutes to an hour out of it if it's good and it's along their interests. So you could also, if they're into kind of mark making a lot, you could have a safe paintbrush. This is mine, so it's not a child's paintbrush, but a short, safe-ended paintbrush with a decent end to it. And then you could put a tin of watercolour paints, which need water to put on them. They're not that messy, and they've got all the colours available to them, and it will fit in this box. So that's another idea as well. Now, say they're into animals. So again, you could have some special books. These are actually some of my favourites. If you've not seen Slinky Malinky and Harry McClary, I really recommend them. Something with really good pictures in it, really eye-captivating pictures, because you're not going to be reading them to them, they're going to be looking at them. So think about the picture side of it. You could also go down the route of then having, say, a pack of cheap snap animal cards that they can just make a mess with on the floor. Like, you don't want to mind what they're going to do with them. You're going to clear it all up afterward and give them the chance to kind of like mess about with stuff in this box. So that's another idea. And then perhaps maybe your child's getting into shape, and well, even you might want to get them into shape, mathematical stuff. So perhaps you could have some more matching type cards which are in an interesting shape. So they've got different colours and pictures on them, and they're matching, but they can do whatever they like with them. The good thing about it is they come in a nice container. I mean, I'm showing you as an example. You'll find other stuff around like this, but think about the shape, think about the container. And actually, if you put paper and pen in with, they can draw around those. So think about not just a theme, but what they can use together, and they can make work together that you don't tell them will work together, but they suddenly realize they can put one of these on a piece of paper and draw around it, something they discover. Along shape again, if you believe your child could be safe with marbles, I mean, I wouldn't put them in a glass thing like this, not even in a treasure box, but you could have a few marbles in a plastic container, and if you give them 2 plastic containers, they can sort the marbles out. So if the marbles have particular colours, they can go from one box to another and sort them out into different containers, and children sometimes will do that type of thing for hours. But again, you wouldn't let them have marbles at any other time, just at this time. And if you're worried about swallowing, then obviously you've got to be in the room. If you're worried about scissors, you've got to be in the room. If you're worried about a pencil going in an eye, you've got to be in the room. But if you know your child well enough that they're not going to do any of those things, then feel free to let them just explore on their own, because you know your child and you know the safety levels. And going along the lines of shape again, use some little magnetic balls that go on the end of these things here, and again that's almost like a fiddle toy, this is, but it all comes apart. Hopefully you can see that. They can go in just a selection, you don't need loads of those in there. But if you're looking at a younger child and you've got safety in mind, then you've always got matching and sorting and lacing and things like that. So if they're able to do lacing, but you're not sure about the safety, then you can buy stuff that is specifically made for that. But yes, again, these can be drawn around and used to kind of like create with on paper as well. So guys, I hope that gives you lots of ideas. Obviously, you need to be thinking in terms of themes, thinking in terms of age and what you know you can leave your child with. But if you do it right, then both of these should give you 20 minutes to 40, maybe an hour with the treasure box. And what you can then do is you then every week kind of replenish a little bit. Now, this is where you might want to go to a charity shop or a scrap store and pick up odds and bits and pieces that don't cost you very much, because then every week you can ring the changes. They'll be looking forward to it. So I hope that helps you. It was built on the back of a video that I did about attachment and how we all need times of being with the child and including them with chores, but also without the child when we've got to get things done and we need that space and that headspace. I hope that helps you. If it does, please subscribe to Adoption with Nairi and look on my channel for all adoption topics. But I will link the previous video that kind of led to this at the end videos for you, and I'll see you on my channel. Thank you.